Welcome, everybody, to another session of Art Pastor Live. I'm so glad to be with you tonight. My name is Steve Thomason. I am a visual artist. I'm a pastor in the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America, and I'm a professor and the dean of the chapel at Luther Seminary, St. Paul, Minnesota. You wrap all of those things together and gets the art pastor. So this is my online ministry, and the purpose of Art Pastor is to create a space where you and I can explore spirituality and scripture through visual art and creativity. And I'm so glad to have you with me here tonight. And if you are with me either on YouTube or Facebook, I'd love for you to leave a note in the chat. Let me know that you're here, where you're from. We can make this very interactive tonight. I'm so excited about tonight because tonight we're just going to have the joy of painting. We're going to have the joy of nature. I'm going to do what I'm calling a wildflower mandala. And yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It'll be just a lot of fun. And I'm going to do it in Procreate on my iPad. And so if you are an iPad user, you want to follow along, I'm going to show you how to use the radial symmetry tool to create a mandala. And that's going to be really fun. And if you're not, hey, Cindy Bailey's online. Hey, Cindy, thanks for dropping a note. I'm so glad you're here. I hope you enjoy the stream. Um, yeah. So, and if it doesn't matter if you're not a digital artist, because you can grab anything. Grab some pencil and paper or some paintbrushes and watercolors, whatever you want. And I've got some photographs of flowers, and we'll get into that in just a minute. And I do this because for me, it's a contemplative practice. I just love the the space that it opens up. Stephen Martin's here, coming to you from Evans, Augusta, Georgia. Stephen, so glad to have you with me tonight. And AB Vesca is here. Yes, from Indiana. Awesome. We're having a party tonight, everybody. It's going to be great. So this is a contemplative space, and the and Gail Pasho from Andover. Yeah, excellent. I love mandalas too. So I'm gonna light a candle for us to just help us get into the space. For me, lighting a candle uh, helps to remind me that the Holy Spirit of God, the divine, is in us, around us, is what draws us together, is what centers us. The the first and ultimate artist created all the beautiful things in this world. Did I just say beautiful? Yes, I did. Hey, Adam Lassen is here too, from Nebraska. This is awesome. This is so much fun. Okay, so I've lit the candle. I'm going to set the candle right over here. Invite us to just take a couple deep breaths together. Yeah, let's begin the process. So first thing I want to do tonight is just show you there's an app that I use on my iMac. So as I'm sitting here, I'm actually looking at my screen, which is an iMac. And there's an app called Pure Ref, Pureref, all one word. And it's a really great tool because what it lets you do is bring multiple images together in one place. So I just uploaded all these photographs from my Apple Photos library. And these are some photos that I took of wildflowers a couple weeks ago when I was up at Camp House. So I got to be the artist in residence at Camp House up in Brimson, Minnesota for a whole week, and it was great. And these flowers were right outside my cabin. And I really love them. They're wildflowers. Some people call this devil's paintbrush. And if you know the other names for these flowers, that's what I'm going to be inspired by. We've got this little cluster of beautiful flowers here. I'm not exactly sure what the composition's going to be tonight, and that's one of the beauties and challenges of live streaming. But what I want to do is you're not going to actually see these photos while I'm painting. And so if you want to paint these along with me, I'm going to give you a moment maybe to take your phone out and do a screenshot, or you can screenshot the screen So I'll pause for a moment over these flowers, and you can just kind of take them in if you want. Snap a picture of these, and then I'm going to come over here and you can do the same. Maybe snap a picture of these. Or my guess is you probably have photographs of flowers on your phone or on your computer, and you can use those. And really, you can paint anything you want, because what I'm going to do is show you how to incorporate an image inside of a mandala. So that's all you're going to see of my mandala. And now I'm going to take you to the beautiful music is playing and the creative process is about to begin. So please let me know if the music's too loud for you, or if it's just right as it blends with my voice. So I'm going to talk about my process along the way, geeking out over how I draw in Procreate. And so I hope you enjoy all of it, but whatever aspect of it. So I'm going to open up Procreate and I'm going to do a new canvas, and I'm going to do a 4K square canvas, which is 4,000 pixels by 4,000 pixels. And when I'm doing a circular, I'm actually going to turn music down just a tad for me. There we go. Yeah, so the first thing I want to do is open up my canvas, and on the canvas tool I'm going to choose my drawing guide, and I'm going to edit my drawing guide and make the grid size really big so that I can see the center point of my canvas nice and easily. And then I'm going to take I'm going to change my background to a nice neutral gray. It's always a good idea to do that whenever you're painting. And then I'm going to choose, I'm going to come here to, I'm on layer 1, and I'm going to choose a little bit darker gray, and come down here and choose my gel pen streamline. And there's a lot of cool little tricks in Procreate that I'm going to teach you. So just going to loosely make a circle like this. But if I hold it and then touch my finger on it, it makes a perfect circle. It's a really cool trick. Then I'm going to take my color dropper and just drag the color into the circle. So now I see that I have a little line around the edge of it. So if I bring it all the way to the threshold and back, then that'll get rid of, well, I mostly got rid of that little line. I don't want to have this line. Actually, I think it'll be fine. So now I have like a core circle, and I'm going to duplicate this circle, and then I'm going to size it. I'm going to make it a little smaller, and notice how I'm centering it with these blue dots onto the canvas, and I'm going to make this a little bit lighter. And I actually think that this circle is not centered, so I need to center that circle like that. Oh, that's nice. So now I have these little circles. So I'm just going to do that a couple times. Duplicate, grab it, make it a little smaller, center it, make it a little bit lighter, like that. And then I'm going to just do that a couple more times, because a mandala is based on circles and rings of circles. And so I'm going to, let's see, that one, yep. So make that one smaller. Make that a little bit lighter. drop that in. That was a little too light. I want to make a differentiation there. There we go. Yeah. Let's just duplicate that again. I think I want to show my color difference before I make it smaller. There we go. And let's do one more. And again, while we're doing this, if you guys have any questions or comments along the way or suggestions for what I'm working on, don't hesitate to drop a note, and I'm going to look up at the chat as often as I can. All right, so we've got our concentric circles. I just lost my headphone. Hold on. That was a weird experience. My headphones just turned off on me and everything went totally silent. Oh, I think my headphones are dead. So I'm going to just turn those off and hopefully I can hear my music through my speakers. Can you guys still hear the music? I hope so. So here we are. Yeah. All right, hopefully that didn't interfere with our simulcast too badly. All right, it's all good. It's all good. Live TV, folks. Anything can happen. All right. So now I'm going to take all of these circles and I'm going to select them. I'm going to put them into a group. And then I'm going to duplicate this group. Hide this one, and then I'm going to flatten this group. So now this group is on one layer, and we'll see what we can do with that. And yeah, we're going to come back to this. Let's see. I'm going to duplicate this, and I forgot something that I was going to do. I wanted to preserve my first, no, I do have my first layer. I have my first one right here. I'm going to duplicate this and actually bring it outside of the group. So I'm going to hold my finger down. I'm going to drag it up on top of everything else. And I'm just going to hide everything that I just did. And now we're going to come back to those circles in a little bit. Now what I want to do is create a new layer. And I'm going to do what's called a clipping mask. And so since this layer is clipped to the layer below it, I won't be able to paint outside of the boundaries of this circle. So that's pretty cool. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to start playing with blues and purples as a deep background. And we're just going to do some textures. I've got this really lovely grainy mop brush. Let's see what happens when I put that in there. You know what? I don't need my grid line anymore. We're going to just free form that. So I've got some deep blues. And so since this is a contemplative kind of space, the first part of this painting is just going to be to enjoy textures and colors and see what happens with them. And I think I'm going to take my background down to a pure black so that we can really see what's going on in this layer. So I'm going to switch over to kind of a purple. Come up here and since I'm using a watercolor brush, it won't do lighter colors over dark colors. So I'm going to switch to my gouache thin natural brush and see if I can throw some lighter colors over this. Just see what happens. That's kind of cool. And then I think what I'll do is if I make a new layer and clip it as well, and let's see what happens if I try to do the watercolor over top of this layer with that. I'm gonna try it with a wash, grainy wash. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So it's liking that, I think. Nice, just some texture. That's fun. Let's see what happens if I come back to that deeper blue over top of that. Yeah, it's kind of cool. All right, now we're going to do another layer, also clipped to the circle. And in this one, we're going to turn on our drawing guide. We're going to edit the drawing guide and come down here to symmetry and hit options, rotational symmetry. And we're going to do it as a radial, right? So if you catch that, options, radial symmetry, not rotational, radial symmetry. And watch what happens. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this wash, this grainy wash a little bit, and do some darker on the outside. But see how it, well, I think I do want it to be the rotational. Let's see what's happening. Let's see if that changes it. Yeah. The rotational symmetry makes it so that what you're doing will happen on every radial. So what's happening is that there's these pie-shaped lines, and when I do something in one spot of the circle, it's going to do it symmetrically around the pattern. So I only have to worry about creating a pattern in one pie shape, and it's pretty cool. And so I'm going to go back to my thin natural wash and just bring up some stuff like this. And this is where the mandala piece comes into play. Let's go a little lighter and see what happens. It's just kind of mesmerizing, isn't it? Ooh, that's cool. I think I want to go back to a darker. I don't want to get too light here because ultimately this is just my background for my painting, but I'm wanting my background to have a lot of cool textures in it. So now I'm going to come to this thin gouache, and I'm going to start doing some circular patterns. These are not pre-planned. I'm just exploring. Since I am doing flower motifs, maybe just putting some leaves in. You guys seeing that okay? Maybe that's a little bit better. That's kind of cool. what happens if I play with some spirals? Just letting my mind wander and play with shapes. See what happens. What if I get a little darker with those? If I pull the black, can maybe let the mandala lead with the black background. That'd be kind of cool. How are we looking? Ooh, that's pretty cool. All right, let's go a different direction. Come up here to our lights again. And ooh, what would happen if I played with some leaf texture? It's kind of cool. And then if I just chose this thin detail, and again, what I'm doing here is just exploring, like, what if I did that? Reminds me of a kaleidoscope. Yeah, I know, right? Thanks, Gail. Totally does. So create your own kaleidoscope. For sure. I put some all right, and I think I'm just going to do this, maybe just a little bit in here. I think that's really beautiful. A non-pre-planned, what's the best way to say that? A spontaneous, how's that? Spontaneous pattern. So we're gonna hold on to that, and I'm going to once again select these layers and group them. So this is now my base of my mandala. And I want to see what happens if I bring up this circle. I want to, if I choose my freeform select, nope, I'm sorry. This is my select tool, and if I do automatic, I need to open these layers. I need to be on this layer, select tool. And let's say I want to just select that. Oh, that's not working. I want to select, there we go. And now if I do 3 fingers and swipe down, I can cut and paste that layer. And so now I have just one ring that's isolated. And if I take that ring and do the blend so that it does like color dodge and then bring down that opacity, now I can start playing with the rings of the mandala, and that's really cool. So let me come back up here and let's cut out this little ring right here. So we're going to do that again by choosing the select. We're on the automatic setting and just touch that ring. So now that circle has been selected. Three fingers, swipe down, hit cut and paste. I've created a new layer. And if I choose color dodge, bring down the opacity. Now we're starting to play with the beauty of a mandala and the rings and stuff. So we can come back to that. Now I'm going to do something where you might think that I'm going to be ruining this whole thing, but just bear with me. I'm going to duplicate this layer. I'm going to bring it all the way up here. I'm going to fill it with this dark purple. Why is that not? Oh, that's because I was doing the wrong circle. We're bringing it way up here. So I'm on this layer now. I'm going to drag this purple in, and it's above everything that I've just been working on. And if I change it to multiply, it's going to darken everything. And so this is going to be my layer that allows me to change the intensity of my background. And I'm going to play around with that. So right now I want that background to be kind of muted, and we'll come back. Now I'm going to start painting the actual flowers. And I'm going to use my this flow round brush, and now we're going to switch to some dark greens, and I just want to experiment. And this is going to be clipped to this circle. Oh, you know what? I can't do that because this circle is multiply. So I'm going to unclip that, and we're just, I got another workaround for that. So now I'm just going to start painting some grass. Some darker areas of grass. I'm using a watercolor so that I can keep the transparency. And we're going to play with this and see what happens. Now, I think I'm going to start a new layer, and I am going to go ahead and start using my thin detail brush, and we're going to go to this light purple. Because my face might look weird because I'm going to start looking at my photo references, and I've got to zoom in on them a little bit. Hold on. Ooh, there we go. You can't see this, sorry, but now I'm looking at those photos that I showed you earlier. And one of the things I think is really cool is I just want to do an indication of these little purple flowers that grow in a cluster. I'm going to do a couple of those like that. And then I think I want to do maybe another one right here. Now I'm just doing blobs, right? And I want to deepen that purple a little bit. Yes, you can start singing Deep Purple if you want. Just playing. It's kind of fun. And just going to draw the little stem that goes through them like that. So there's some of those little flowers, and I'm noticing that there's some really cool leaf shapes in here, and so I'm going to go back to my green, and I'm just going to try to capture some of these leaf shapes. That I'm noticing in my photos. It's kind of cool. And then there's some other ones, some really neat ones in here that kind of have this like a pod like shape to them. They go like that. I'll do another one back here, a little smaller. And then they have a little white stripe on either side of them. That's kind of fun. Yeah, that's kind of fun. And then there's one more shape that I see that I find really interesting. And it has a little bit more of a yellowish tone to the green. And it kind of comes like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool. This is fun. We do one more like right in through here. And see what I'm doing with this brush is because of the pressure sensitivity, it's a tapered brush. And so I start with a little bit of pressure and then I push harder and it makes it go wide. And then when I release the pressure, see, like when I do that, brings it down. I double tap and I can undo that. So maybe I think what I want to do up in this area is I'm going to hold off on that. Now I'm going to create a new layer because I want to do something a little bit different. And I want to come up to my these orange flowers because they're just so cool. They're so vibrant. And trying to decide if I want to do just one big orange flower or a little cluster of them. So I'm trying to find just the right one. Let's see. I'm going to start with one and see what happens. So I've got this orange, and I'm going to start with I'm going to start right here. Actually going to go a little bit darker. Noticing how these little petals work. They're kind of squarish, which is cool. And again, one of the things that I enjoy about painting and why I think it's a contemplative practice is because it causes you to stop and to notice. Notice the textures of these petals as they have like really rough edges. And some are thin and some are thick, like that. And I'm noticing that the inside gets a little bit yellow. I'm going to make my brush bigger and kind of just blend that out, like that. And then the outside of it gets a little bit more red. And intense, like that. Let me make that bigger so you can see. It's kind of fun. And then I want to make that more red and a little bit dark, right on the edge there, like that. Now that's just the first layer. I'm going to make another layer, and we're going to start that process over again. And we're going to do a second layer. I want to differentiate these blades from the ones in front of them. There we go. And they just kind of radiate out. They're not perfectly symmetrical, which is part of the reason I like them. Kind of have a little bit of a roughness to them. And I can see why they're called a paintbrush, because the end of the petal kind of looks like a paintbrush. And so again, it's more yellow on the inside of it. This particular paintbrush that I'm using, you'll notice I'm laying my brush sideways, and it allows me to do a broader brush. I'm going to get a little bit more intense with the color in here, like that. But then again, the outside of those are kind of that burnt orange. And then in the middle, I want to make this a little bit more of a vibrant red and come over that with a red wash just to get those oranges blazing a little bit. It's kind of fun. Need to lose the drawing guide. Go back to our yellow, make that yellow really pop in the center. Now, if we come back to this deeper red, there's this little cone-shaped center that sticks out. It has a little bit of a shading to it. So we're going to just do a little bit of definition of some shapes. See, with this kind of brush, as I'm making my brush more vertical, I can get in and like draw lines in it. This is a really versatile brush. It's the Max U gouache detail brush. But you can also do nice washes with it. So it's a really versatile brush. I'm going to go back down to this layer and do some of that same refining. And I think I want these oranges to really blaze back there underneath. So what I'm going to do here is if I take two fingers and swipe to the right, it's going to alpha lock that, so like I can do that and not paint around it. And I think what I'm going to do is change my brush to the thin natural brush and just kind of do some washes of that bright orange behind that center one and see if that's going to work. And then if I do the same thing and alpha lock that, I can do some darker washes on the outside. And just, I'm wanting to get a little bit of contrast between that inner petal structure and the outer petal structure, which is kind of cool. And now I think what's happening is I'm wanting to have some shadow underneath this one. Yeah, there we go. Shadow and then yellow. So there's a flower. And if I group these together, I can actually make this flower a little bit bigger. Maybe tilt it like that. Yeah. I think what I might do now is just get a little bit looser and get a flower there, and a yellow flower there. And there's these cool little buds around the flowers as well. I think I'll use my thin detail. These little buds. I actually think I still want to make this one bigger. Yeah, that's cool. And since I made that bigger, I actually want to define these edges a little bit more. It's kind of cool. And then I think another thing that I want to do is actually behind this green grass layer, I want to do some of these in the background. Like there's a whole bunch of them that just kind of scattered in the background. Some of them brighter than others. Whoa. Sometimes my artificial intelligence pops up on me and I don't want it to. Notice I didn't say her name. And so now I'm going to go ahead and I won't be as detailed with these as I was with the big one. Just a little bit more impressionistic with it. And then underneath these, I want to do kind of a stem that comes up like that. And I feel like it needs something in front of it, maybe a darker set of leaves. It just kind of makes it even over the top of this. Just to give some kind of contrast. And then I'm going to do is take my eraser, my medium brush eraser, and just erase out around it so it fits with the mandala. I want to erase this. Okay, so how are we doing? We got this cool thing. Now I want to play a little bit. I'm almost done. I haven't checked to see if you guys are still with me. Yeah, some of you are there. That's awesome. So now I'm going to play, and I'm going to bring these circles up above everything and see what happens. Ooh, that's kind of cool. If I brought this on top, so like that flower can be on top, like it's popping out. Yeah, that's cool. Now what other circles do I have? I have that outer circle. So if I come in here and I do the automatic grab of that outer circle and then swipe down with 3 and then do cut and paste, and again bring this up on top of everything and turn it into a color dodge or an add or a lighter color overlay Let's see. This is kind of fun. You can just play with the effects and see if one works for you. So that's screen. That's kind of cool. Add is kind of cool. Light overlay, soft light. Exclusion. Ooh, divide. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's divide. That's hue. That's saturation, color, luminosity. Divide. Ooh, that's really pretty. I like that. So now if I play with the opacity of that, it's not quite as bright. Yeah. You know what? I think I like that. What do you guys think? Let me know. Let me know if you think this one brings us to a close. That was really, first of all, that was just super fun to do, and to not know. Oh, Gail has given me a hard, dreamy heart face. I love it. You liking that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I like it. I like it. So what I'm going to do is just add a layer for my my signature, and I'm going to choose I think this color, but a little bit transparent, and just go ahead and sign it. But not so stabilized. How about that? So I can do a little bit more of a actual like drawing style. Yeah. Adam says you love it. Gail says yes. Oh yeah. That's it, folks. Thanks so much for joining me. That was super, super fun. So here's the deal. I love doing these contemplative art sessions, especially one like this where it was just really playful. Gail says that really pops. Thanks, Gail. I'm so glad you were with me today. So here's the thing, Art Pastor, you can go to artpastor.com and find all kinds of resources. Art Pastor Live is my weekly live stream, and my whole purpose for doing this is to open up a space where we can explore spirituality and scripture through visual art and creativity, so that we can grow deeper in the love of God through Jesus Christ in the power of the Holy Spirit for the sake of the world. And that's what Art Pastor is all about. And so I'm going to grab my candle. I'm going to blow it out. It's already out. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.